The beauty of local government is that elected officials are real people of the city. They're not career politicians.
How are you doing today?
Because, for one reason, they couldn't afford it.
You're not going to eat very well on $600 a month.
And it's not necessarily easy.
It's a demanding job, especially if you want to do it right.
Mayor Homer of Thief River Falls says he gets around 3 complaints a week. So why did he want to run for mayor?
Some of the things that I felt were not done well is future planning. And if a council has to react to things that are happening today, we're way behind the 8 ball.
He wanted to serve the city, but Mayor Homer was already serving the city.
About 90 different flavors of bratwurst and sausage. Standard bratwurst, your Polish, bacon cheeseburgers, bratwurst, jalapeno pepper jack. We got the mild flavors, just the regular bratwurst, and we got the kind of the off-the-wall ones where we actually put macaroni and cheese inside of bratwurst and make that.
When Mayor Homer is done with his responsibilities in City Hall, he packs up his things, walks across the street to manage Michael's Meats, the meat shop that he owns and operates. Michael's Meats is named after his late son, which he lost in a car accident.
He was not wearing a seatbelt, which is kind of ironic because at that point in time I was a lobbyist for the Minnesota Ambulance Association, and we were pushing for the seatbelt law.
Homer was no stranger to how politics worked, even though this is the first public office he's ever held. But making meat and conducting mayoral duties aren't the only things Homer does to contribute to the city. He's also a diver for hire.
I was a scuba diver down where in my hometown of Frazee, a place where you can throw a rock just about any direction and hit a different lake.
When the local dam needed some maintenance, Homer answered the call.
I said I was a diver, very well adverse in currents and low water visibility and comfortable with that, and I pretty much said I could do that for you.
He's a man of many talents. Some, like the skills he picked up when he worked in emergency medical services, now help him deal with problems he faces in the mayor's office.
My career in EMS also brought me to be an incident command instructor, which right after 9/11 there was a need for command and control of any disaster that's happened within the United States. I was on the forefront of getting that set up.
He was even recognized for his efforts.
Governor Plenty presented us with the honors of Homeland Security Team of Excellence.
Those experiences have helped with recent challenges, like the windstorms that ripped through Thief River Falls this summer.
Without that knowledge, I wouldn't have known when to declare the disaster. How do you declare the disaster? Just simple little things like that, just how do you get the ball rolling on it? And once you get the ball rolling on it, how do you fill out the appropriate paperwork to keep that ball bouncing?
He kept that ball bouncing all the way to the governor's office to try to get funding for the disaster cleanup.
We were fortunate enough to receive the governor's signature of our disaster assistance. Right now we're at approximately about $59,000 with eligible costs.
And now that it's budget season, it's time for the meat man to put his mayor skills to the test.
It's a slogan of me being a meat cutter. I can kind of cut the fat out of anything.
And so far, it seems people approve of the job he's doing.
Alrighty. Now, what would you like? On average, I probably get a dozen pats on the back saying I'm doing a good job. So that's what really keeps me going in this job.
Reporting in Thief River Falls, Ryan Laughlin, WDAZ News.
Paul Christensen fixes cars and trucks in his repair shop, a job he's been doing since the late 70s in the small town of Churches Ferry.
I started my business basically from a one-stall garage in my mom's backyard.
Born and raised in Churches Ferry, Christensen remembers the town from his childhood.
When I graduated from high school in '76, we had a pretty good main street. We had an implement dealer, an auto repair shop, bar, bank, a couple of gas stations, 3 very productive elevators that were here. So we did it. We had a real nice full gamut grocery store of everything we needed, just like every other small town in North Dakota.
Over the years, he's seen the town shrink as high waters washed Churches Ferry away.
We lost our school in 1988 just from a lack of students, and after that, it started raining in '93 and never stopped, and of course the flooding pretty well took the rest of our community out.
Now Churches Ferry's population has gone from over 100 people to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
While Church's Ferry got smaller, Christensen's one-man business grew, from serving the local community members now to people throughout the region.
More and more of the surrounding people, customers I guess you'd call them, and friends that were forced to move away, it forced my business to go outside the area to survive.
And when Christensen isn't working on cars and trucks, he wears another hat as the mayor.
Some people get quite a chuckle, but we have state incorporated. We are a city. We have to do all the things that all the other cities have to do, big or small.
Christensen says it's his responsibility to conduct monthly meetings with the other people in town. He says as mayor, he works to maintain the town, to make Church's Ferry a nice place to live.
I mow a lot of grass here. I trim a lot of trees. I keep the streets bladed, winter, spring, summer, fall. We have a dike that keeps some of the water out of our town. I make sure that water gets pumped over the dike after big rains and in the spring when the snow melts. So I guess I take on all the physical duties that most towns have somebody else hired to do.
He has been mayor of Church's Ferry twice, serving for about 10 years in the 80s to 90s and again since 2000. Christensen says he takes pride in the community he grew up in.
You have to be able to take self-satisfaction in that, because some people would think it's foolish, and other people look at it and shake their head and they say they can't believe why are you doing all that work, you know. But you have to remember, I grew up here. I remember the town as it was, and I like to keep it as close to that as I possibly can.
One man keeping a small town together in the face of hardship. Reporting in Church's Ferry, Kelsey McMahon, WDAZ News.
Dorset, Minnesota, a small community in Hubbard County. Population 22.
I think the thing that makes Dorset so unique is the draw of the area people to the restaurants.
Dorset is actually dubbed the restaurant capital of the world.
It's how we keep our name out there.
The community is also known for its world-famous race for mayor.
I'm the mayor of Dorset.
That's right. While the community may limit how fast you can travel through town, when it comes to local politics, there are no limits, not even age. James Tufts is just 3 years old.
What's it like being a 3-year-old mayor?
I don't know.
And to do that...
Wait a second, okay? We can go talking.
You must always look dapper.
Mayors wear these kind of hats.
Oh, they do?
And other mayors wear fedoras.
Instead of a budget axe, this mayor swings a plastic toy sword.
What do you do when you're in office every day?
I play and take a nap and watch shows, and I eat. Me and my dad lay on the couch all the time.
Dorset's unusual government makeup has garnered international attention.
Robert Tufts!
It was James's older brother Robert who took the political scene by storm in 2012 when he was elected at age 3.
What was your #1 agenda?
Ice cream.
Why ice cream?
Because on some hot summer days, it can cool you down.
You're pretty special here.
Yes, I am.
He won re-election the following year. Serving 2 terms allows him to be one of his younger brother's top political advisors.
Don't hit, don't be bossy. I can't be googly eyes and fun and nonsense. You might not want to sniff near me because I just tooted. Show me the way to go. Nobody can arrest me, not even a cop.
Even though the town is small and there is no real government, Robert says the job is tough.
Because it took away all my fishing time.
Dorset elects a mayor each year at its annual Taste of Dorset Food Festival.
We have buses that bring people in for it.
It's $1 per vote. A random name is selected. The actual number of votes for each candidate is never disclosed.
It's been a real big draw for a lot of people to get involved in.
While some may chuckle at the outcome in the race for mayor here in Dorset, the race itself is no joke.
He would just say, hey, can we go to Dorset today? I want to go ask for people's votes.
But what do we really know about Jimmy Tufts? There's no record of him before 2012.
Like this attack ad Robert ran against his brother.
Every time we play hide and seek, he hides in the shower.
What was your reaction when you saw that ad?
Jimmy says he'll be tough on crime, but he's afraid of the vacuum cleaner.
Are you scared of the vacuum?
Yeah.
Where were all his toys made? China.
So the attack ad it's true?
Yeah, and my toys were made in China.
And during this interview, James Tufts came clean about another issue.
I need to tell you something.
Hoping it doesn't come up again next campaign.
I like to steal my mom's shampoo.
Tufts has the mindset of a true politician, dodging the tough questions.
What's your least favorite part of being mayor?
Now my brother can talk to you. Okay?
You're done talking?
Yeah. No, James, run out of time.
Though they may not always get along, and really what brothers do. Will we one day be adding the Tufts to the list of political families like the Kennedys, Bushes, and Clintons?
Will you two be running mates in 2048 for the White House?
Me, no. Yes.
With the potential presidential run still decades away, the big question in Dorset, will karate kicking James Tufts
I call this the karate spin.
exchange his toy chest for a campaign war chest in 2016?
Now, do you plan on running for re-election next year?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I'm a cool dude.
You are mayor!
It was the year 2000. Michael Brown and his supporters were breaking out the bubbly as he entered the world of local politics.
I finally feel comfortable speaking, that I have a thoughtful opinion and it matters.
The United States.
State of North Dakota.
The state of North Dakota, according to the best of my ability.
Brown was replacing outgoing Mayor Pat Owens, who got the city through the devastating flood of 1997.
I want to wish you, Mayor Brown, and the incoming council all the best as you move our city forward.
Move it forward he has. The now 65-year-old has been mayor ever since. His 15 years in office make Brown the city's longest-running mayor.
It's fun to be the executive branch because I can make decisions.
What do we want? When do we want them?
But he hasn't done it by straying away from controversy.
Women's rights!
Mayor Brown had this to say after the state enacted the nation's toughest abortion laws.
I'm very proud of our state for standing up for what we believe. And I think there's going to be a cost to what we believe, but I think the cost is well worth it.
And this following the 2012 shootings in Newtown, Connecticut.
I think it's a behavior problem, not a gun problem.
Grand Forks' pro-life, pistol-packing mayor has quite the story. He spent his early elementary school years in England. He graduated from high school in Japan.
I think it makes you more broad in your thinking and more accepting of cultures and more accepting of change.
Despite his travels, his ties to the city are strong. Mayor Brown is an Air Force veteran who spent years at the Grand Forks base. He went on to graduate med school from UND.
You know to look both ways when you cross, right?
We do.
From walking kids to school to painting the Mission, Brown dedicates much of his time to the city. But he's much more than that. He's also a self-proclaimed shopaholic.
I'm a shopper. I'm the ultimate shopper. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning. I'm going shopping today.
Mayor Brown is also a husband, a father of two, and those aren't his only babies.
Hey, Tiger.
Dr. Michael Brown has delivered thousands of babies in Grand Forks.
I've delivered 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, and 4 at a time. I delivered my first baby in a broom closet on the base because the delivery rooms were full, and so there were mops hanging on the wall and closets, and we wheeled her in there, and that was my first delivery by myself.
But his days delivering babies are numbered. Mayor Brown tells us in the next couple years he'll retire from being Dr. Mayor, but he's not planning to retire from City Hall.
Do you think you'll run again in 2016?
And I would. I promised my staff.
So Brown prepares to hit the campaign trail for the 5th time, and this time he doesn't need a how-to book. For now, the man whose job involves bringing the next generation into the world spends his days making sure they have a great place to live.
Now on to school.